I couldn't say to Micah or Claire, well, here it is. I left you in debt before you even applied for a job. I left you with less freedom. I left you with a government for the first time in history owning manufacturing companies, setting up and deposing leadership, violating bondholders, shareholders agreements, negating contracts, apologizing to the rest of the world, owning the financial institutions, and oh, by the way, owning our health care and telling you what you can have, what you can't, and rationing it. And oh, by the way, leaving you in a defense posture that is weak and susceptible not only to terrorists, but also the economic terrorists that could invade and take our country. I'm not willing to do that. I don't think you are either. So that's why Sue and I ultimately decided after the loss in 2008, which was tough, it was close, but a 2-point loss, still a loss. Might as well have been 200. The outcome is the same. As we looked at it, while we lost at 2 points, Barack Obama beat our top of the ticket, McCain by 6 points. Mark Schauer did 4 points worse than that. We did 10,000 votes better outcome than John McCain. And bottom line is, all things remaining equal this time, and our people getting out to the polls and voting for a solid gubernatorial candidate, changing the state, and staying at the polls and voting for the rest of us on the ticket, I expect to win. And Mark Schauer will have to live under the laws that he's passed, and now we will have to change. I'm committed to doing that. I've signed a pledge, picture taken, affidavit, that I will vote and work to repeal and replace the health care plan. I had a health care reform proposal that I introduced when I was in Congress. That's an all of the above, that's a patient-centered private sector approach that the Republicans, including Dave Camp and Paul Ryan, Peter Roskam, took to the president. The same principles I had in my bill, plus a few additional ones that had made it even better, and said to the president, Mr. President, we have an alternative that doesn't take over the healthcare system. We have an alternative that doesn't mandate. We have a healthcare alternative that doesn't tax. We have a healthcare alternative that gives competition and choice and more variety and more option and expands the greatest healthcare in the world by dealing with the system that is broken at some points. And we have a healthcare proposal that the majority of the American Republicans, the American people, support as well. My proposal would have done some things like expand health savings accounts, allow associated health plans so small businesses could join together in economy of scale and purchase health care coverage as an association so they could offer more beneficial health care to their employees at a reduced cost. My bill also had tort reform in it to reduce frivolous lawsuits. Attorneys don't like that, and it's been interesting to hear not once has Brian Rooney mentioned tort reform in relationship to health care reform as an attorney. I also had in that bill the allowance for purchasing health care across state lines to expand the variety as well as the competitiveness for our health care, dealing with pre-existing conditions and things like that. And then I also gave a tax break to every individual or household that bought health care insurance, just like we give to businesses. Why not say, attaboy, attagirl, you did the right thing too. So that's there. And we can go back first and foremost, in the first term, if we get a majority, either of Republicans or Republicans and scared Democrats, the House does not have to fund any part of the budget or any part of this health care plan. So the first thing we do is not fund it. The president can't implement it if we don't give the money to fund it. The 16,000 new IRS agents necessary to start taking over this program and collecting the taxes and dealing with the 1099s that you will have to give to a business like this. If you drink as much coffee as I do, you get the $600 limit, you've got to give them a 1099. They're going to have to give you their tax data and tax number.
Was that directed at Glenn Beck?
Pardon?
Was that directed at Glenn Beck? But $600, you know, the goal, they sponsor him. take them out of business.
Well, I could do that,
To take them out of business.
but a lot of it, I mean, can you imagine each of you going around your gas stations, and
Yeah.
if you travel as much as I do, and give them the 1099? I mean, and this is absurd, but it's all meant to be able to take in more money, to not simply fund the system, but to fund whatever this government desires to do.